Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Paola Pimentel. We start this week with a tragic story of a Marlborough woman who was recently found dead. There are still no answers in the death of a 28-year-old Marlborough woman who was found unconscious in the driveway at a home in Southborough where she was a nanny. Alicia Gill was a native of Norfolk, Virginia, and moved to the Royal Crest Apartments in Marlborough about a year ago. Gill was pronounced dead at the scene, but police are awaiting the results of an autopsy from the state's chief medical examiner to determine the cause of death. Officials from the Worcester County District Attorney's Office do not suspect foul play was involved and believe she may have been cleaning her car at the time she collapsed. Alicia had a love for children and attended Metro Church in Marlborough, where she was an assistant to the children's pastor. This was the scene Wednesday night on Main Street. While many of our neighbors to the west were cleaning up from devastating tornadoes, Marlborough escaped with just a few severe thunderstorms. Marlborough did, however, play a role in helping the city of Springfield clean up in the aftermath of the storm. Just a week after the devastating tornadoes in the Midwest destroyed entire towns, Massachusetts had a taste of life on the prairie earlier this week.
Oh my God.
Fortunately, here in Marlborough, the only twisters we saw were on television. But within minutes of the conclusion of the storm, it was clear that the damage in Springfield and the surrounding communities was extensive. To help in the search and rescue efforts, many cities and towns were called to provide mutual aid to the storm-ridden city, and Marlborough's Engine 1, led by Captain John McGrath, arrived in Springfield at 10 o'clock Wednesday night. McGrath, along with 3 other members of the department, were part of Fire District 14, and they spent the night searching damaged buildings and homes for possible trapped victims. By 7 o'clock Thursday morning, District 14 had covered 4 residential neighborhoods, and for the city of Springfield, it appears the cleanup has only begun. Marlborough resident Russell Floyd was sentenced to 2 years in jail, suspended for 3 years, after pleading guilty to charges that he cashed a dead friend's disability checks. The checks, which totaled about $10,000, were forged and cashed from October 2008 to May of 2009. St. Mary's Credit Union contacted the Marlborough police after conducting an internal investigation. Russell told the judge that he cashed the checks to cover the cost of his friend's funeral. A week after the Marlborough police arrested 28-year-old Zachary Lodi for tagging several properties throughout the city, the Middlesex County Sheriff's Office was in town, removing some of this graffiti on Wednesday. The Sheriff's Office recently purchased new equipment to help communities remove graffiti. Lodi is due back in court on Monday for the graffiti charges. It was a rainy Memorial Day morning in the city, but the weather cleared up just in time for the start of the annual Memorial Day Parade. Hundreds lined the parade route, which extended from the American Legion post on Main Street and extended to the Civil War Monument in Monument Square. Wreaths were laid at the various monuments along the route. At the conclusion of the parade, Coordinator Bob Page, along with other local officials, spoke at Monument Square. This year's keynote speaker was Senator Scott Brown, who is a 31-year member of the Massachusetts Army National Guard. The senator spoke about how lucky we are to live in such a great country.
And it's because, can you imagine living in some other country and you wouldn't be able to come here and say what you want to say and do what you want to do and just have all those freedoms that we've basically gotten because of our veterans and their sacrifice to this country. Yet here we are. Yeah, it's the veterans that gave us those rights. I can't even imagine not having the opportunity to speak our own mind and tell people what you think and why. But here we are. We do live in the greatest country in the world, and we do have those rights. And it's because of the veterans and the fallen heroes and the reason that you're all here.
Afterwards, Senator Brown took time to shake hands and take pictures with some of the local residents. We asked him why he thought it was so important that we remember our veterans on Memorial Day.
Sacrifice and service of our fallen heroes, give us all the rights and privileges that we have today. It's tremendously important, especially wonderful to see all the young people here really, coming out in force, which is great.
And a big thank you to all our veterans out there. One local woman was recently recognized as one of the state's unsung heroes. Diane Ring, Program Director at Furnishing Options here in Marlborough, was one of 100 women recognized by the Massachusetts Commission on the Status of Women as one of the state's 2011 Unsung Heroines. She is honored but humbled after receiving the award.
I am a bit embarrassed by it because I think there are so many people in the community who are doing incredible work every day who don't get recognized, and I think what this agency is trying to do is at least start finding these people and single them out and bring some recognition to the work they do. So I was just very honored.
Furnishing Options distributes furniture and household goods to low-income individuals and families. Diane says that making Furnishing Options a success has been a team effort.
I work with a great team of volunteers who really run the operation every day on a day-to-day basis. We have people from all over the community. We also have members from Employment Options who come and either volunteer or do vocational training here.
Diane is also on the board of directors of the Volunteer Family. She is not new to volunteering. She has been a member of the Friends of the Ashland Library Board of Directors, worked with the Massachusetts Association for the Blind, and has been service mentor for Jewish Vocational Services. If you would like to help out Furnishing Options by volunteering or making a donation, or if you would like to request service, call 774-348-4922. It's graduation weekend here in the city, with both local high schools holding ceremonies. Assabet Valley High School will be graduating 210 seniors this year. This year's valedictorian is Amelia Kulik, who will be attending Northeastern in the fall, and Nicholas Mulherin is the salutatorian, and he will be going to Springfield College. Over at Marlborough High School, Alexander Kunicki was named the valedictorian and is headed to Duke in the fall. The salutatorian is Mayank Batari, who is going to Purdue University. Pretty impressive, and congratulations, seniors. Now, if you don't have a graduation party to go to, but are looking for something fun to do this weekend, you have to check out the 3rd annual car show. Back and better than ever, this year's annual car show on Sunday on Main Street promises to be even bigger than last year.
We're expecting to get swamped if the weather is perfect. You can expect upwards of 200 cars. And I have a singer that's going to come here again, as last year we did. Start all the proceedings around 11:30 by singing the national anthem, which he does a spectacular job with. And then we have a disc jockey who we have every year, who has a 50s radio program in Rhode Island called Dr. Dom. And he's here again, and lots of giveaways, lots of gift certificates to be given out, and gifts, and trivia. He does a lot of trivia questions and things, so it keeps the show rolling quite well.
The event is organized by the United Brethren Lodge in Marlborough, along with the Push Rods Car Club of Waltham. All the fun is free, but they are accepting donations, and any profits they make will be turned over to Masonic City and state charities and the Shriners Hospitals for Children. One more event to tell you about. On Monday night, New York Times best-selling children's author Jean Birdsall will be at the library to discuss her award-winning children's novels about the Penderwick family. Space is limited to 70 people, so it is recommended that you pick up a colored wristband over the weekend at the library. Those without wristbands will be allowed in on a first-come, first-served basis. That's going to do it for this week. Just want to remind you to friend us on Facebook to keep up with what's going on here at the station. Have a great weekend.
Hi, I'm Gina Lettery with the Buddy Dog Humane Society, here with some summer safety tips for you and your pet. We all have places to go and people to see in the summer, so let's take a look at some tips for keeping your pet safe on the go. It may seem cool to let your pet sit next to you in the car, but this can become a distraction for the driver and may cause an accident. Always provide your pet with a well-ventilated crate or carrier when traveling, or use a seatbelt specifically designed for pets. And no matter how cool or fun you think it is, never let your dog travel in the bed of your truck. Even at the lowest speeds, your dog could get ejected from the truck during quick stops and turns. And remember, it's against the law. Always secure a carrier or crate to the bed if you must travel this way. Follow these simple rules and your buddy will thank you.
Hi, firefighter Mark Asenko here with some safe summer tips for you. It's summertime, and that means it's grill time. But before we get started, here are 3 safety tips that you need to know. Before you turn on the gas, make sure the cover is up. Make sure you turn on the gas slowly. When igniting, keep your face away from the grill. Follow these tips and you'll have a safe and tasty barbecue.
Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, Marlborough has been officially designated as a green community. The city's master plan process continued this week with a public forum, plus the Fort Meadow Reservoir has been treated to control non-native weeds. And later in this half hour, Amazing Race Marlborough is happening Sunday, and there are 4 spots left. Those stories and more are coming up right now on Marlborough This Week. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Let's begin with this week's top story.
Over the first 4 years of the Patrick Murray administration, they, working with the legislature, created really national leading policies when it comes to clean energy and renewable energies.
Massachusetts Energy and Environmental Affairs Secretary Richard Sullivan presented Mayor Nancy Stevens with an award for clean energy efforts that qualified the city to receive a $217,125 Green Communities grant to finance projects that reduce energy use and increase savings.
You have all demonstrated, both through your actions and through local legislation that you've passed, either in zoning or adopting the stretch code, that you are committed to helping meet the governor's goals, making Massachusetts the cleanest energy state in the nation.
City officials plan to use the funds for energy conservation measures, including energy-efficient lighting, ventilation upgrades, and a boiler replacement. Funds will also be used to support the purchase of a hybrid vehicle, a solar voltaic assessment, and an energy efficiency manager. These cost-saving measures will save the city $80,000 annually.
Massachusetts spends about $22 billion a year on energy. 80% of that, some $18 billion, not only do those dollars go out of the state, but they go out of the country. So if we can recapture the economic opportunity that $18 billion represents, we will have a much more vibrant economy across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
In March, Energy and Environmental Affairs awarded its latest round of grants worth $3.6 million to the state's newest green communities. On Thursday morning, along with Marlborough's designation, Medway, Wayland, and Harvard received theirs as well.
This is a very high bar, and for these 4 communities to meet this designation is significant, and it's because of the efforts of so many, the local elected officials the grassroots organization of the energy committees, town staff, interested citizens, all together, coming together to make this happen. And it's a real honor to be among you and to be here to officially designate you.
There are now 53 official green communities in Massachusetts, including 35 cities and towns. So what makes a community a green community? 5 clean energy benchmarks must be met. Adopting local zoning bylaws that allows for renewable and alternative energy, adopting a permitting process, establishing a municipal energy program to reduce use by 20% within 5 years, purchasing only fuel-efficient vehicles for municipal use, and requiring all new residential construction over 3,000 square feet and all new commercial and industrial real estate construction to reduce life cycle energy costs.
You all are true leaders in the Commonwealth. You are leading by example and will lead the rest of the municipalities in Massachusetts to Green Communities designation.
In addition to grants, each green community is presented with a certificate from the Commonwealth, 4 road signs identifying it as an official green community, and receives at least 1 Big Belly solar trash compactor for municipal use.
Congratulations to all of you for the great work that you've done and what you're going to do in the future.
City councilors Monday night did not approve Verizon Wireless's proposal for a cell tower in Bolton Street. The proposal called for a 120-foot tower at Kane Self-Storage at 800 Bolton Street. The decision leaves the opportunity open for another company to build one. The proposal needed 8 votes from the council, but only received 7. With Fire Chief Ricky Plummer on medical leave, Mayor Nancy Stevens appointed Deputy Chief Stanley Clement to take on the administrative duties of the fire chief. Clement started in his new role last Sunday. Stevens requested the City Council approve a $4,000 transfer from an account in surplus for the additional money needed to cover the acting chief pay. That request was on the agenda Monday night at the City Council meeting. City leaders are currently discussing renovations to Memorial Beach. The Finance Committee supported a $1 million bond for the project last week. The city also intends to apply for a grant that could reimburse up to $500,000. The goal of the improvements would be to completely transform the area. The project could be finished by spring 2013. The school committee recently approved Superintendent Anthony Pope's recommendations to keep school fees at their current rates. In addition, Pope has recommended no fees for Whitcomb School athletics, which will begin next year. At Marlborough High School, the annual fees will be $100 for activities, $150 for athletics, and $300 for a family cap. Tuition rates for pre-kindergarten will be $1,750 for 4 days a week, $1,600 for 3 days, and $1,000 for 2 days. Full-day kindergarten will be $2,700, and school lunches will be $225 at the elementary schools and $250 for both the Whitcomb and the high school. Breakfast will be $1 for all schools. Before we continue on with this week's top stories, we'd like to take a moment to congratulate the graduating seniors both from Marlborough High School and Assabet Valley. Both classes celebrated last Sunday with a ceremony which included speeches, the presentation of diplomas, and music performed by students. We'd like to wish all the seniors good luck as they move on to higher education or employment. The MEDC's master plan process continued this week with a public forum. It was a chance to hear what residents want for their community as the city moves forward.
The whole idea is to try to get better participation, more people involved in different ways, and help guide us along in the process as we develop the plan.
Residents, employees, and city officials joined together Wednesday night at the Massachusetts International Academy to further continue with the resident participation component of the city's master plan process.
What we're going to do is try to get people to become their own planners and to actually develop some concepts that are going to make sense in terms of the long-term development of the community and the idea of trying to maintain a stable tax base and improve the overall living conditions and quality of life in the town.
The public forum was part of the process to create an economic development master plan.
The goal of the master plan is to try to figure out how we can expand the non-residential tax base substantially in order to keep residential taxes stable.
Officials are stating that to keep the tax rate stable for homeowners, the city needs significant growth.
If you're trying to increase that by actually increasing buildings, increasing the kinds of buildings that we have here that are going to be taxed, what are they going to look like, and where are they going to go?
The consultants of the master plan, which is scheduled for completion in September, wants to know what the community would be comfortable with moving forward. That's what Wednesday night was all about.
When people start to understand a little bit better how to plan a community and actually get their hands on the tools to do that, then they see themselves as participating in the process. They see the actual results of it, and they understand that it actually could happen.
The MEDC and the consultants of the master plan have reached out for help in other venues, including focus groups and interviews.
This information will be used and synthesized, and a draft report will be prepared somewhere around the middle of July. And that draft report will again be mounted on our website, and people will have a chance to go on this website, read the draft proposal, and then make comments on it.
Currently, an online visual preference survey allows participants to choose images of developments they would like to see in the city.
In September, we'll have the final document, and what we hope we'll have in there is not only an economic development strategy, which will set goals for the community, but also, again, based on all of the input and the analysis that's been done, there'll also be an action plan. We'll identify specific actions and policies that should be taken, recommended by the consultants, for us to achieve those goals.
For more information and to take this survey, visit marlboroughedc.com. The Fort Meadow Reservoir was treated on Thursday to control invasive non-native weeds. Now, even though the treatment process is over, it can still affect you in the days to come. We spoke with Conservation Officer Priscilla Ryder to learn more.
Sort of just like keeping a disease under control. I mean, you're just trying to maintain it and keep it in check.
The Fort Meadow Reservoir was treated with an herbicide called Reward to control Eurasian and variable water milfoil.
It's very resilient. It can grow in lots of different situations, and the problem when it gets into a lake like Fort Meadow is that it can outcompete all the other plants.
The treatment does not affect the native plants that are important to a healthy lake.
Plants in a lake are great. The fish love it. It provides oxygen. It's really important for water cleanliness. But when you get the abundance of milfoil, it can just outcompete everything, and it can start choking the lake.
A survey was taken this month to see if treatment was necessary, and despite the need to treat the water milfoil this year, the results of how the lake is doing was positive.
Water is crystal clear. They were so impressed with how clean the water was. The only problem with that is that the sun can get down and the plants can grow faster.
On Thursday, residents were asked not to use the lake for swimming or boating. Moving forward, there should be no drinking of lake water for 3 days or until June 12th, and no irrigation with lake water for 5 days or until June 14th. As we enter into the summer months, lake users should check boats and trailers for weeds when taking boats in and out of the water.
I mean, even in Marlborough, if you take it home and wash it off and it goes into the storm drain, that storm drain goes into the nearest stream, and if it's coming back to Fort Meadow, that's one thing. If it's going to another lake, that's another thing. So just make sure you take those pieces of plants off, sun dry them, compost them, but don't let them get back into the water.
This will ensure that users are not reintroducing weeds from other lakes into the Fort Meadow Reservoir.
Over the past several years, we have been treating these spot treatments, keeping the milfoil under control. We can't seem to get rid of it. There's no logical way to completely get rid of it, but if we can keep it under control, then every year we only have to do these spot treatments.
For more information, contact the Marlborough Conservation Commission at 508-460-3768 or Aquatic Control Technology at 508-865-1000. Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, the annual Main Street Car Show took over the downtown area once again this year. But first, the Taste of Downtown Marlborough is coming up on Monday night, and we have the details. We're back with that story after this short break.
Hi, firefighter Mark Asenko here with some safe summer tips for you. The number of water-related deaths has risen in the past few years. Here are a few tips to keep you and your loved ones safe. Do not overload your boat. Capsizing and falls overboard can lead to fatal accidents. Always be prepared. Make sure you wear your life jacket. Alcohol is the leading contributing factor to fatal boat accidents, so please do not drink and boat. And always remember, be smart, be aware, be water safe.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The annual Taste of Downtown is coming up on Monday evening. This year has a few new features, in addition to lots of outdoor entertainment. The 4th annual Taste of Downtown Marlborough will feature a brew fest for the first time this year. The event, organized by Old Marlborough, is scheduled for this Monday, June 13th from 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. and will feature 25 restaurants and 23 breweries.
During the taste, it's a nice evening stroll through downtown, and you can visit about 25 different eating establishments and get a taste of what they serve.
Tickets are required, and there are 3 different types. Just the Taste of Marlborough is $20 the night of the event. Senior citizens over 62 and kids under 12 are $15. The Taste plus a Brewfest ticket is $25.
You come out and you go around and you can eat, you can sample the food, and then if you want to taste some craft brews, you take in the Brewfest.
With Monday's predicted forecast showcasing a chance for some showers, Kane looked back at the last 2 years and remembered rain then, and thankfully it didn't affect the numbers that turned out.
First year we held this, there was a drizzle all night long, and we still had 1,000 people show up. So, you go out to eat when it rains, bring an umbrella, stroll around, enjoy yourself.
Those who have attended the event in the past have thoroughly enjoyed it.
People that have come to the event have been overwhelmed with it. They get here and they get so excited. I see people I haven't seen in years come running up to me, telling me, thanking me for doing this, how exciting it is. They've bumped into old friends they haven't seen for years.
The Taste of Downtown Marlborough not only brings residents to the restaurants that are available, but it revitalizes an area that once was the heart of Marlborough.
Years ago, it was the heart of our city, and then the advent of shopping malls and more cars and what have you, and it was the demise of downtowns. And that's the hardcore, it's the heart of the city, really, the downtown. And I discovered that we had a lot of good restaurants down here. So as the executive director of Old Marlborough, one of our goals is things like this. So we thought this would be a good way to promote the downtown and get people down here and see the restaurants that we have.
Kane's prediction for Monday night is in the thousands, and he hopes all residents take a moment to enjoy themselves in the downtown area.
Hopefully we'll get 1,500, 2,000 people this year. And those people, as I say, they walk around, they bump into friends. It's a social night besides enjoying yourself with tasting food, tasting craft beer if you wish, and all the entertainment that goes on.
On Sunday, the Lions Club Amazing Race competition will take place. We met with one of the race organizers to get the details. The Amazing Race Marlborough is happening this Sunday, and race organizers are gearing up for what is sure to be another successful event. We met with race organizer Randy Scott to learn more.
Teams of 2 or more they travel throughout the greater Marlborough area, and they have between 8 and 10 tasks to perform along the way. The team that finishes all those 8 or 10 tasks first wins.
The Lions event takes teams to spots for different challenges in the Marlborough area.
For those people that are interested in doing this, first of all, you have to be a game player. You want to be able to play games and be competitive. You don't have to be terribly athletic. Skills are not necessarily required, but everything is good. Good temperament, definitely required.
The race will begin at noon from the top level of the city's west parking garage, and teams should arrive no later than 11:30 a.m. There are 3 race categories: duo, group, and family. There's a prize for the top finisher in each division.
This is pretty much a rain or shine event. Most of the tasks and challenges can be done in the rain. Some of them are a little bit more difficult to do in the rain, and there's a couple that may get washed out. Fortunately, we haven't had anything that's really stopped us yet, and it would have to be significant rain for it to really ruin anything anyway.
The cost is $25 per adult and $10 for children ages 8 through 12. Children under the age of 8 are free.
All of the proceeds, which is pretty much all of the entry fee, goes to the Marlborough Lions Club to help people in the community. We typically raise about $1,000 during the course of the event. So it's really a nice fundraiser, and it's a great way to raise money because people enjoy doing it.
As of Thursday, there were 4 slots open. If you're interested, don't hesitate to call Randy Scott at the Main Street Cafe at 508-485-7664.
I think as long as the show remains on TV, it keeps that drive alive for Jim and I to find new tasks to do and so on and so forth. So, I can see us doing this for a few more years anyway.
The Masonic Lodge in Marlborough hosted the 3rd annual car show on Main Street last weekend. Many families enjoyed this free, fun event. The classic car show featured live music, a DJ trivia contest, raffles, hot dogs, ice cream, and sports car displays from Dodge and Nissan. The first Main Street Car Show in 2009 was such a success, attracting more than 120 cars and 1,000 spectators.
3 years ago, when we had to find something for the anniversary of the lodge, 150 years in Marlborough, I come up with the idea of a car show and was made chairman of it. And it's been growing ever since.
This year, space was doubled, with the street closed to traffic between Newton and Bolton Streets from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. The show received support from local businesses, which have sponsored generously to defray costs and enable the Masons to donate proceeds to its Angel Fund. The proceeds help pay for clothes and supplies for needy children in Marlborough Public Schools and to Massachusetts Shriners Hospitals. 2 library events are coming up in the next few weeks, plus we'll have your Pet of the Week and how to keep your pet safe this summer. Don't move. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Gina Lettery with the Buddy Dog Humane Society, here with some summer safety tips for you and your pet. We all have places to go and people to see in the summer, so let's take a look at some tips for keeping your pet safe on the go. It may seem cool to let your pet sit next to you in the car, but this can become a distraction for the driver and may cause an accident. Always provide your pet with a well-ventilated crate or carrier when traveling, or use a seatbelt specifically designed for pets. And no matter how cool or fun you think it is, never let your dog travel in the bed of your truck. Even at the lowest speeds, your dog could get ejected from the truck during quick stops and turns. And remember, it's against the law. Always secure a carrier or crate to the bed if you must travel this way. Follow these simple rules and your buddy will thank you.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The Marlborough Public Library will welcome summer with a dawn to dusk readathon on Tuesday, June 21st. All are welcome to join on the front lawn at 35 West Main Street anytime between 5 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. For more information, please call the library at 508-624-6900. Also, the library will host National Book Award-winning author Jean Birdsall on Wednesday, June 15th at 6:30 p.m. She was originally scheduled to visit this past Monday, June 6th, but had to cancel because of an illness. Before we get to our Pet of the Week, Gina Lettery from the Buddy Dog Humane Society in Sudbury took a moment to let us know some important information on how to keep our pets safe during the hot summer months.
There's some really important things because even though you would think it's a lot of common sense, there are facts about the summer in dogs that people might not know. It can get up to 120 degrees in your car within minutes. So it's very important not to take your pet along with you when you run your errands in the summertime. Dogs can't sweat, so they pant and they get overheated, and it happens really quickly. So leave the little guys at home with plenty of water. And for the short-nosed fellows, you want to make sure that they have air conditioning because it's more difficult for them to breathe, just like it is for us sometimes. And that's basically it. You know, if they're outside, they should be in the shade and have adequate water at all times. Today we have Fluffy, and we think Fluffy is a Border Collie mix, although he's a little on the short side for a Border Collie. He's very, very sweet. He was actually born in Mexico, and his owner wasn't able to tell us much about him because they didn't really speak English. So he seems friendly, he seems like a very nice boy, he's going to make a great pet. And if you're interested in Fluffy, please feel free to call us at Buddy Dog. The number is 978-443-6999.
And before we go, we'd like to remind you that the Marlborough Triathlon is just around the corner. This year's event will take place on Sunday, July 10th, and there are still spots for athletes to participate, and also volunteers are needed for the day. Please visit marlboroughtri.org for more information, and while you're at it, please visit our Facebook page under WMCT-TV and become a fan. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week. Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, thousands return to the downtown area for a Taste and Brew Fest. The Marlborough Police Department has a warning for all residents, plus Women Veterans Park has a new designation. And later in this half hour, Relay for Life 2011 fought back against cancer. Those stories and more are coming up right now on Marlborough This Week. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Let's begin with this year's Taste of Downtown Marlborough.
We made the full 4 hours finally without rain. So that was a major accomplishment right there.
Over the last 3 years, the Taste of Downtown Marlborough has raised about $15,000 for various charities while showcasing what the downtown area has to offer. This year, the event offered a new attraction, a Brew Fest. The Taste, which showcases about 25 eating establishments and their cuisine each year, added 22 New England-based breweries, aiming to attract more residents.
We wanted to give more to it. A lot of people actually said to me that they thought I was underpriced as far as that goes, because people that go to these Brew Fest alone pay $30, $40 just for the Brew Fest and don't get any food either. 2,500 people attended this event, making this the most successful Taste of Downtown to date. I woke up Monday morning saying, oh my God, they're forecasting possible showers. The Boston Bruins are playing in the 6th game. You know, I'm figuring probably won't even get anywhere near what we had last year, and we went way over that. The event, aimed at revitalizing the downtown area, brings residents down to a place which once was a bustling area. Friday nights in downtown Marlborough looked like the Taste of Downtown. That many people would be strolling around Main Street, because we had a lot of stores, a lot of restaurants, a lot of soda fountains, they call them, and things like that. You know, so between the entertainment, the food, and the brew, you bring all those people together, they get some enjoyment, some entertainment out of it, and meet people and stroll around. The Masonic Hall transformed itself into a beer tasting venue where many visitors started off their evening. Further down Main Street, outside the Vin Bin and Fish, the area was packed with beer lovers. It did bring more people. Unfortunately, more people and not enough food out there creates problems, and we had that, and that's a problem we have to look at and try to rectify. While some establishments ran out of food early, others, like Dino's, stayed open until 9:45 p.m.
You have an opportunity to promote yourself that Bob is helping you out with, and if you don't take advantage of it, you're just hurting yourselves. Yes, it stinks giving stuff away, but it's free advertising in the sense that he gets your name out there, he brings all these people down here, and people talk. It's word of mouth, and I was open all night because there was a line out the door all night. Bruins game was on, the bar was full, it was like a big party in here. We had a band, and people had fun and good food, and they remember it. All the business owners who participate in the Taste say it's a great event for their restaurant, despite the fact that they are basically giving away their goods.
I got 745 people that came into my restaurant. They know where I'm located. They got a chance to look at the restaurant, see what it looks like. They got a chance to actually taste my food, and this is all food that we serve here, either as a special or on a regular basis.
We had well over 1,000 people come through here, and when you have them right outside your doorstep, now's the time, or that's the time to grab them, to bring them in, and to show them what you can what they can have and what you offer.
We're just trying to get people that normally wouldn't come down here to come down here, and this is a great event that attracts those kinds of people.
Proceeds from this year's Taste will go to the Shauna Jean Larassa Memorial Fund, Relay for Life, Old Marlborough, and the Marlborough Downtown Village Association.
On Monday, the State House passed the Vin Bin's request for a full liquor license at the store's next location on Main Street. The Vin Bin at 27 South Bolton Street is looking to open its new store in the old fire station at 91 Main Street, right below our studios, by the first week of August.
What we're excited about is the fact that it's a 100-year-old building, and we are finally putting it back to good use. It's a solid structure, and one of the neatest things about that building is there's this old dungeon under the floor that is perfect for a wine cellar. It's only accessible through the trapdoor in the floor of the building. So that'll make for a neat place to store wine down there.
The beer, wine, and cheese shop wants to sell liquor at the new store. The City Council okayed the store's request in the form of a home rule petition in March. The petition now goes to the Senate for approval.
Once it gets Senate approval, then the governor has to sign. And those steps should take, well, within 2 weeks. If this all comes through, this will be the first time in the city's history that they've been able to get a home rule petition for a full all beverage retail license in the city. So we're very proud about that, but it's also something that will be very beneficial to downtown Marlborough.
Superintendent Anthony Pope introduced 3 key members to his leadership team on Tuesday night at the school committee meeting. The 3 instructional leadership directors are new positions in the district. Though the directors have district-wide responsibilities, each one will have a focus at a different grade level. Also at Tuesday's meeting, a presentation regarding the Whitcomb School was given by Whitcomb School Principal Mary Murphy and newly appointed Leadership Director Gabrielle Abrams. Numerous topics were touched upon, such as music and language programs, in addition to class scheduling. For this week's Committee Corner, I'm Rob O'Keefe.
The Marlborough Police Department would like to remind citizens to be careful when it comes to protecting themselves from scams. The department has investigated several incidents over the last week. Suspicious activity to look for is contractors that come out to your house without being contacted, or any calls to your home stating that you're the winner of a contest, but you need to pay a prize tax. If you have any questions, please call 508-485-1212. Interest is growing in this year's election as potential candidates continue to pull nomination papers. Third potential candidate has joined the mayoral race. Nilsa Roman has pulled nomination papers to run for the city's top job. Council President Arthur Vidgen and Jim Masso both have also pulled papers for mayor. Mayor Nancy Stevens announced that she will not seek re-election. The other current office holders who have pulled papers for re-election thus far include Ward 1 Councilor Joe Delano, Ward 3 Councilor Matt Elder, Ward 4 Councilor Robert Tenera, Ward 5 Councilor Robert Seymour, Ward 6 Councilor Edward Clancy, Ward 7 Councilor Don Landers, and Assabet Valley Regional Vocational School Committee member Joseph Valiorati. School Committee member Kathleen Roby pulled papers for her current school committee seat in addition to a Councilor at Large position. Potential challengers include Mark Orm for Councilor at Large, Joe Collins for Councilor at Large, George Stein for Ward 3 Councilor, Todd Bokeman for Ward 7 Councilor, and Mark Stakonis for Assabet Valley Regional Vocational School Committee. Potential candidates have until August 12th at 5 p.m. to pick up nomination papers from the city clerk's office. Candidates need 50 valid signatures to qualify for the ballot. A preliminary election, if necessary, is scheduled for October 4th. Election day is November 1st. Thanks to the Colonial Garden Club of Marlborough and the city's Public Works Department, Women Veterans Park was named a Blue Star Memorial Byway on Tuesday.
The Blue Star program through National Garden Clubs Inc. has been in existence for a number of years, for many years now, and it's always been something we kind of wanted to get to eventually, and we talked about it off and on, and we just kind of decided in the fall that this is it, we're going to do it. We decided to just actually make it happen. The Blue Star Memorial Program has been in existence through the Garden Club movement for more than 60 years. National Garden Clubs, of which the Colonial Garden Club of Marlborough is a chapter, is committed to placing Blue Star memorial markers in honor of our nation's armed forces.
The Blue Star banner was designed and patented by World War I Army Captain Robert Quesner of the 5th Ohio Infantry, who had 2 sons serving on the front line. The flag quickly became the unofficial symbol of a child in service. The Blue Star Memorial Program got its start after World War II, when the National Council of Garden Clubs wanted to honor veterans with living memorials rather than stone monuments. The Garden Clubs has adopted this symbol for its new program. It was meaningful for me when Holly asked me to be involved in this, because my son is a Lance Corporal in the Marine Corps, and he's currently deployed to Afghanistan. So I'm a Blue Star mom. I got my pin, I got it on the house, got it on the car, and I'm very proud of my son and his service. So it really had some meaning for me, and I wanted to
bring that to this project.
Veterans, local officials, Garden Club members, and others joined in the dedication ceremony, which included a military salute, a wreath ceremony at the park's new monument, and performances by the Aspet Valley Regional Technical High School Chorus.
This is probably one of the most, if not the most beautiful memorials and parks that we have in the community.
This one is dedicated to all of you. You that have served, you that are currently serving, and you that will serve in the future.
The Blue Star represents on a service banner those men and women who are currently serving and those who have returned home safely. So I ask each of you to join with me in keeping our servicemen and women in your prayers that every one of them returns home safely and thus forever remains a Blue Star.
Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, the Lions Club annual fundraiser challenged all who took part this year. But first, Relay for Life 2011, that story's next. Please stay with us.
Hi, firefighter Mark Asenko here with some safe summer tips for you. The number of water-related deaths has risen in the past few years. Here are a few tips to keep you and your loved ones safe. Do not overload your boat. Capsizing and falls overboard can lead to fatal accidents. Always be prepared. Make sure you wear your life jacket. Alcohol is the leading contributing factor to fatal boat accidents, so please do not drink and boat. And always remember, be smart, be aware, be water safe.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The American Cancer Society's Relay for Life fought back against cancer last Friday night at Galone Park. News reporter Megan Mellon has more on this story.
Once again, Relay for Life was held here in Marlborough at Galone Park. And as you can see, each year it seems to get bigger and bigger.
I am a 2-year survivor of breast cancer. I feel that I was one of the lucky ones. I went through 30 treatments of radiation, and then I was declared cancer-free in March of '09.
Despite the number of lives cancer takes every year, the Relay for Life in Marlborough is more of a celebration of those who individually have beaten cancer and an honorary tribute to those who have not. And it's all in the name of fundraising in order to put an end to this deadly disease.
And it's also a ton of fun. I mean, there's so much stuff to do here, and you just feel good afterwards, just from walking and being with everybody and seeing everybody that's, you know, made it through things and supporting others.
It's helped brought a lot of awareness of how serious it actually can be, and joining together to fight the whole cause I think is really important to show that we all support it together. There is a lot of fundraising during the event that goes along with all of the fundraising done by walking teams for weeks before the event. On both ends, though, you could see how much people want to donate to this great cause.
The donations just started rolling in, and we used Facebook a lot too. They put the link up on Facebook, and you know, people were just getting hits off of Facebook making the donations.
It's pretty amazing when you look around and you see, you know, all ages, all races, all sizes out here supporting the same cause. Everybody has been touched by cancer, unfortunately, so it's something that everybody's very passionate about. It's amazing too to know that coming into this event today, we've raised over $115,000. So it's something that the community is definitely passionate about.
The definition of a hero is someone who shows great courage. That's what my mom is, my hero.
For Marlborough This Week, I'm Megan Mellon.
The Lions Club Amazing Race fundraiser took place last weekend, and it proved to be, yet again, a challenge. Here's Lions Club member and race organizer Randy Scott with the details.
This year's Amazing Race was probably our best effort ever.
Now in its third year, the event is modeled after the popular TV show, The Amazing Race.
This year was probably the physically toughest race we've had. We had a few comments from people that if there was any more running or hill climbing, that they probably would not have finished the race. We really pushed the limit as far as physical.
The Lions Club version takes teams to familiar and not familiar places in and around the Marlborough area. The race is set up in stages, and each stage takes teams to a spot where a task must be performed. Once that task is completed, instructions for the next leg of the race are given.
This year, we surpassed all previous years. We raised $1,240 for the Lions Club, and I'd like to thank all the people that showed up and supported the event, because without them we would have raised nothing. But I think, you know, for the value, they got a great day's entertainment and some food to go along with it.
The tasks are made so everyone can complete them.
People sometimes wonder how Jim and I come up with these challenges, and part of it is we both enjoy games, and we like to challenge people in terms of physicality and tactile challenges, and some of them are mental challenges. And when we mix them together, it gets really, really interesting. I mean, it's all those kind of things that are not difficult to do, but when we put them in the environment of the race and throw that competition level into it, makes it that much more difficult.
The race features 3 categories: duo, group, and family. There's a prize for each one.
Family division is really catching on well. In fact, Jim and myself talked about making some accommodations, more accommodations for families next year to make some things easier for them.
Since this year's race proved to be a bit more challenging than participants would have liked, Scott says the next one will be a bit kinder.
Jim Ash and myself, after the race, we had a good debriefing session. We talked for about an hour the day after the race, and we've decided that the next one will be a little kinder and a little gentler to the participants.
No date has been set, but Scott is already gearing up for the next amazing race.
I've got about 7 or 8 challenges ready for the next one. In fact, so many of those are non-physical that we can't even use all of those, but I mean, we can put together another race fairly quickly, and anybody who did this year's race that's watching, I promise it will not be as hard.
The rainy weather didn't stop Marlborough Hospital's annual Safe Summer Fun Day this year. The free event that focuses on bike safety took place last Sunday. Each year, the annual Marlborough Hospital Safe Summer Fun Day takes place on the front lawn of Marlborough Hospital.
This event is all about keeping safe, and there's a lot of information for families if they have the time to hit all the different booths, and a lot of things for the kids to enjoy.
The free child-oriented health and safety fair is held rain or shine. The hospital once again sponsored bike helmet fittings, where trained Marlborough Hospital staff properly fits and gives away children's bicycle helmets while supplies last. The Marlborough Police Department was awarded 48 bicycle helmets earlier this month as part of the 2011 statewide Bicycle Safety Grant Program. Those helmets were given out at the event. Massachusetts law requires any child 16 years of age or younger operating inline skates, a skateboard, scooter, or a bicycle to wear a properly fitted and fastened helmet. The program provided more than 2,900 helmets to 68 communities and organizations for free distribution this spring and summer. The adults who wish to be fitted were asked of a $10 donation. The event also featured many hands-on hospital exhibits such as healthy eating, doctor dress-up, plus family-oriented activities such as face painting, balloon animals, trains, a DJ, games, and giveaways. St. Mary's Credit Union sponsors this event. Memorial Beach is opening up for the summer, plus we'll have your pet of the week. Don't move. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Gina Lettery with the Buddy Dog Humane Society, here with some summer safety tips for you and your pet. We all have places to go and people to see in the summer, so let's take a look at some tips for keeping your pet safe on the go. It may seem cool to let your pet sit next to you in the car, but this can become a distraction for the driver and may cause an accident. Always provide your pet with a well-ventilated crate or carrier when traveling, or use a seatbelt specifically designed for pets. And no matter how cool or fun you think it is, never let your dog travel in the bed of your truck. Even at the lowest speeds, your dog could get ejected from the truck during quick stops and turns. And remember, it's against the law. Always secure a carrier or crate to the bed if you must travel this way. Follow these simple rules and your buddy will thank you.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Memorial Beach is opening up for the summer, and we have the details you need to know. Memorial Beach officially opens Saturday, June 18th from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily. To obtain a beach pass, residents must show a valid driver's license showing their Marlborough address. Day passes are also available at the beach for $5 and can be credited toward a season pass. Fees are $40 for Marlborough residents and free for Marlborough senior citizens. Non-resident season passes are $50. The Ward Park wading pool will be open Friday, June 24th. The wading pool hours are from noon to 6 p.m., 7 days a week.
Today we have Dakota, and Dakota is a 2-year-old pug mix with Shih Tzu, and he is a family dog. He's good with children, he's good with other dogs. We think he might be good with cats. He was given up by his owner because they didn't have a lot of money to care for him, and the landlord didn't allow him where they lived. So if you're interested in Dakota or any of the other pets here at Buddy Dog, please feel free to call us at 978-443-6990.
Before we go, we'd like to remind you that the city's Cemeteries Division will be conducting a general cleanup of all city cemeteries. All flowers and decorations must be removed. Father's Day flowers may be placed in the cemetery on Saturday, June 18th. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week. Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, 3 deserving seniors received recognition Tuesday night. After being closed for most of the week, Fire Station 3 has been reopened. Plus, St. Mary's Credit Union prepared for a disaster this week. Those stories and more coming up right now on Marlborough This Week. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Let's begin with this week's top story.
To honor a senior citizen who's made such a difference to the community is just such a wonderful honor. I feel privileged to be able to recognize the seniors.
City seniors were honored Tuesday night at the annual senior dinner, which is held by Mayor Nancy Stevens and the Council on Aging staff. This year's recipients were Alice Dempsey, Ronald Poole, and Gregory Matrakis. To be eligible, the individual must be 90 years old, a resident of Marlborough, and be nominated for this honor.
The opportunity to honor a senior citizen who has had such a great influence on this community is really an honor for me. We're honoring them, but to be able to present that to worthy senior citizens who've made a difference is really a great night.
Hundreds of seniors gathered for a cocktail hour, a red carpet walk, awards ceremony, and dinner at the Best Western Royal Plaza Hotel.
Last year, because of a change in staffing at the Senior Council on Aging, we didn't have a senior dinner last year, and we wanted to make this one a really special occasion. And in hindsight, it's now the last senior dinner that I will host, and I'm really excited to make this really special. I think having it at a different venue. I've been out at the cocktail party, and the men and women are just loving it out there with the hors d'oeuvres and cocktails and things like that. It's just been absolutely wonderful.
The Best Western Royal Plaza Hotel, Holiday Inn, Marriott Courtyard, and Embassy Suites sponsored the pre-dinner reception. The band Swagger volunteered their time for this event, providing the great musical entertainment.
Obviously, any job, any position has pros and cons to it. Something like tonight is definitely the highlight of my year. Honoring our senior citizens, high school graduation, presenting students with their diplomas. These are things that make such a difference that will be memorable for people's lives. And to be able to be part of that is just, I feel honored, and I'm sharing a special moment in someone's life, and it's great for me.
Mayor Stevens recognized the honorees with a proclamation from the City of Marlborough during the awards ceremony. Honorees' family members or a special community spokesperson spoke about their life contributions to the community. This year's event was sponsored by Patriot Ambulance, Marlborough Savings Bank, and St. Mary's Credit Union. The City Council Monday night approved money to keep the Community Development Authority running for a few more months, and it also approved funding for Memorial Beach renovations. Councilors approved $30,000 to fund Community Development Authority staff. In a 9-2 vote, the Council also approved a $1 million bond for renovations to the city's beach off Hosmer Street. Plans include a full-size basketball court, a new children's play area, walking and jogging trails, improved parking, and new picnic tables, grills, and trees. The city intends to pursue a grant that could reimburse up to $500,000 of the cost and could use funding from revolving accounts. In addition, a public hearing was held to discuss the current status of the condominiums at 26 Broad Street. Stas Burdan, one of the managing partners, spoke to the council on Monday night about renting the remaining units.
We've passed the spring market, and it doesn't seem like during the summertime there will be significant interest. So we're sitting basically on unsold inventory.
Due to the bad economy, some units have not sold, thus the reason for wanting to rent in order to move on from this property to their next project on Pleasant Street.
The units, if they're leased, they produce cash flow that gives us opportunity to maintain the property better, and instead of paying ourselves for maintaining it, because we, for the unsold inventory, we have to contribute our own condominium fees as a developer. So it actually, not only does it have a burden from the standpoint of the loan and the property taxes and all that, but also from the condominium fees that we have to contribute to the property. So basically it helps us maintain the property in a better shape and be less stressed.
The public hearing allowed residents to speak in favor and opposition, including questions from the council. Those in favor realize that the developer has exhausted all possibilities and realize this is necessary to move forward.
I think enabling them to rent the units at this point is just another tool for the developers to possibly navigate the current market conditions. I think if they were to drop the price any lower, I do think that that would have an impact on my property values and the property values of the surrounding community.
Those in opposition feel by allowing renters to come in will not only devalue the condos, but the surrounding neighborhood.
By renting out 8 when there's 11 townhomes, that not only depletes the value of the townhomes, that also makes it extremely hard for someone like myself who could potentially need to move to sell my unit. It's unbelievable that this could go down. I bought into it knowing that I wasn't living with renters, with the exception of 4, which was made perfectly clear, and I signed into that, and I'm sure that many others, I haven't met many people who live there yet, bought into that. But then when this came about, my whole investment has the opportunity to go downhill.
In conclusion, in order to move forward with the newest property they have attained, 110 Pleasant Street, the developers need to move forward with the St. Mary's development. The issue was referred to the Urban Affairs Committee. A 28-year-old Marlborough man was arraigned this week after he attempted murder on his girlfriend during a domestic dispute. The couple lives on Liberty Street. According to a police report, a chemical accelerant was poured on the victim intentionally during a domestic argument, and she was lit on fire. The woman was taken to UMass Medical Center in Worcester for treatment of 2nd and 3rd degree burns. The woman remains in serious condition. 28-year-old Eduardo Pierre Charles was arrested Sunday and ordered held at his arraignment Monday pending Wednesday's hearing. Charles of 51 Liberty Street is charged with assault with intent to murder, mayhem, assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, and resisting arrest. He's due back in court July 15th. Fire Station 3 on Boston Post Road East closed Tuesday night due to a decision made by the City Council on Monday night regarding overtime funds. It has since been reopened. For the first time in nearly 40 years, the fire station on Boston Post Road East closed Tuesday night because the city does not have the money temporarily to pay the overtime necessary for personnel to staff Station 3. At Monday night's City Council meeting, Mayor Nancy Stevens had requested approval of a $5,000 transfer from a surplus fire department salary account for overtime funds. The council rejected the transfer. Councilors have approved other transfers for additional fire department overtime over the course of this fiscal year, which ends June 30th. Fire Station 3, located at 260 Boston Post Road East, closed Tuesday night at 6 p.m. and did not reopen until 8 a.m. Friday morning. During that time, Stations 1 and 2 provided city fire coverage. A medical unit was assigned to Station 3, providing emergency medical services to the east side. St. Mary's Credit Union participated in a disaster response exercise this week. We took a peek inside a mobile recovery facility on Wednesday morning to learn more.
In the event of a disaster that our systems were down, our building was inaccessible, we bring in this trailer, this recovery unit, and we're allowed to recreate our operations within the trailer.
On Tuesday and Wednesday of this week, staff of St. Mary's Credit Union took part in a disaster response exercise designed to help the credit union continue its business in the aftermath of a disaster. St. Mary's Credit Union President and Chief Executive Officer Jack Caulfield says this is a small piece of an overall disaster recovery plan that management and staff have been testing for months.
Revisited our planning for disasters, whatever they may be, over the past couple of years, and We found some deficiencies we're trying to address. One of them certainly is the computer boxes and the systems and things like that, and that's a separate exercise. This is more another aspect, again, the physical location, getting the work done. Where could our employees go to be able to service our members in the event of a problem in the area?
Here in Massachusetts, many residents and businesses in the central and western parts of the Commonwealth were affected by the June 1st tornado.
The bar continues to be raised with natural disasters like Hurricane Katrina. We saw the tornadoes, in the western part of the state, things that we never could imagine would happen here in Massachusetts. We just have to be ready and kind of go through different scenarios. And this is just one part of it.
A mobile recovery facility was parked in the credit union's parking lot at the 1 Northborough Road branch.
We have people here from various departments of the credit union. They're actually on the computers, using the telephones, making sure that all of that stuff that would be available to them in the office is available to them here, and so far everything's working great.
The recovery unit contains a power generator, computer equipment, communication devices, desks, and everything that would be needed to restore operations following a disaster.
I think it's generally considered a good business practice. However, we've taken it a step further in bringing the trailer up here just to make sure that what looks like it would work on paper works in reality.
Staff worked inside the unit conducting business as usual, just as they would in the event of an actual disaster.
Now we move on to other aspects of the plan, whether it's buying duplicate equipment, testing data lines, kind of exploring other areas and trying to think of things that we haven't thought of yet. So it's a challenge, it's ongoing for all financial institutions and other businesses.
Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, rain didn't stop a local road race from happening Wednesday night, but first, 2 community policing bikes were donated thanks to our local Lions Club. We're back with that story after this short break. Please stay with us.
Hi, I'm Gina Lettery with the Buddy Dog Humane Society, here with some summer safety tips for you and your pet. Did you know the inside of your car can reach 120 degrees in a matter of minutes, even if you're parked in the shade? If you must travel with your pet, make sure all windows are cracked and never leave the car for more than a few minutes. Remember that just like humans, the heat can overcome pets as well. Always carry some water with you and always check for signs of heat exhaustion, like extremely rapid panting, glazed over eyes, vomiting, and an unsteady walk. If you do see any of these signs, you can bring the body temperature down by pouring cool water over the pet or placing the pads of the feet gently in a bowl of water. Follow these simple rules and your buddy will thank you.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Looking for a way to give back to this community, the Lions Club of Marlborough has now donated 2 community policing bikes to the Marlborough Police Department.
We knew that we needed some assistance in our community policing programs, and some of the state funding, the state grants had dried up. So it was a perfect opportunity for us to partner with the Lions Club.
Community policing in the city has grown over the last few years thanks to donations around the city. Those donations continued this past week at the Lions Club meeting.
As it turned out, the state had cut their budget. The bicycles were really in disrepair, so when I talked with the chief a few months ago, when I asked him how we could help the city of Marlborough through the police department, he suggested that we get the bicycles, so we did.
Police Chief Mark Leonard is pleased with the collaboration.
The Lions Club has generously donated 2 police mountain bicycles to our community policing program. They're to replace 2 bicycles that really are at the end of their useful life and that need to be replaced.
Thanks to community policing, residents have enjoyed getting to know the officers in the downtown and French Hill areas.
Where the officers, are in those neighborhoods all the time. They get to know the residents get to know them. We work very closely with code enforcement, so it's really a key part of the department, and it has been a great benefit to working out some neighborhood issues that do come up in those types of neighborhoods. So it's really important that we continue that program, and again, the addition of these new bicycles will go a long way to keeping that program going.
The donations didn't stop there. The Lions Club wants to donate even more of their time and services to the MPD.
Next year, our flagship program is going to be a program, again with the police department, to to train young women in self-defense and how to defend themselves, how to protect themselves. So we're kind of looking forward to that. That should be an exciting program.
The Lions are always looking for ways to help give back, and Robinson is already brainstorming ways to do so.
We're also going to approach the fire department to see if there's something that we could do to help them in some area that they're lacking. And we'd like to do this every year.
This summer, the police department, in conjunction with the Middlesex Sheriff's Office, is offering a Youth Public Safety Academy. The academy will run from July 18th through the 22nd. Children will get to meet police dog units, develop a home safety plan, and learn about teamwork. For more information, please visit middlesexsheriff.org. The Wayside Racquet and Swim Club's annual Run for Fun took place on Wednesday night. The event currently raises money for a local scholarship fund. Wednesday night ended up being cool and rainy, but that didn't stop over 150 runners from coming out to support Wayside and its charity.
This is the 17th annual Wayside Run for Fun, and the first 10 years of the race it benefited the Marlborough DARE program. After the DARE program was eliminated from the city's budget, we switched it over to the Marlborough Regional Chamber of Commerce's Scholarship Fund.
Around 125 residents had pre-registered for Wednesday's road race, which meant around 25 people braved the weather and came out to participate.
First 10 years of the race, we raised about $23,000 for the DARE program, and the last 6 years, we've raised a total of $52,000 for the scholarship fund.
After the race, participants are awarded with a post-race party.
There's hamburgers, turkey burgers, veggie burgers, hot dogs, pasta salad, and we have a little beer, soda, and water as well.
McLaughlin was pleased with the turnout this year despite the weather.
No raining on this parade. We're all weather people when it comes to road races.
To continue with community races, the Marlborough Triathlon is just around the corner. This year's event will take place on Sunday, July 10th, and there are still spots for athletes to participate. And also, volunteers are needed for the day. Please visit marlboroughtri.org for more information. Coming up, a family bike ride is happening Sunday, and we'll have your pet of the week. Don't move. We'll be right back.
Many good things are easy to spot, even in black and white. A maple leaf, birds in flight, our trees in summer. But there's one bad thing that's also easy to spot because it is black and white, the Asian longhorn beetle. This insect is killing our trees, but with your help, we can defeat it. Please look for it, and if you spot it, report it. It's as simple as black and white. Go to beetlebusters.info to learn more.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. Marlborough Hospital's Family Fun Ride along the Assabet River Rail Trail will take place this Sunday, June 26th. Bicyclists will rally at 36 Jefferson Street in Marlborough across from Kelleher Field. Registration is from 9 to 10 a.m. and the ride continues until noon. For more information, please call Bike Marlborough at 617-470-5440.
Today we have Tony, and Tony is a very happy, active little fellow. He came originally from a rescue group. He was adopted, but brought back because he likes to bark a lot, and he was living in an apartment, and that didn't go over too well. So, if you live in a house that doesn't have neighbors too close, then maybe Tony would be the good dog for you, because he's very sweet and he's going to be a great companion. If you'd like more information about Tony, please feel free to call us at Buddy Dog. The number is 978-443-6990.
Mayor Stevens in the Marlborough Recreation Department has announced the 2011 Summer Concert Series. The concerts take place on Union Common on Thursday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. The free concerts will feature 9 different bands this summer. First up is the John Penny Band on Thursday, June 30th. Before we close out our newscast this week, Program Director Rob O'Keefe has put together a montage of some highlights of last weekend's rolling rally for the Boston Bruins. O'Keefe attended the event in Boston, and as you're about to see, something he had with him attracted just a little bit of attention. Thanks for joining us this week, and we'll see you again next week.
people watching the parade go by City Hall Plaza love Chara. This guy put a lot of work into his sign. It's pretty big, and it's like Z, it's bigger than life.
Great fan. And here comes Chara coming up to his space. I can't wait till he sees that. I'm sure we'll get that shot. He's coming up close. How can you miss that face? I think it's probably just about in our camera shot. Tallest player ever to play in the NHL.
Oh, he cracked
a smile,
pointing at the sign.
He sees his face.